Aquarius, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead. Keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements to get a more complete picture. Or if you would like a personal reading, you can find the link for that in the description below. All right, my friends, let's get started. For Aquarius, what is the current energy around Aquarius for the week ahead? Oh boy, lots of cards coming out. We're going to reshuffle that. I did see something flip. Okay, let's reshuffle just to get, if we need one or two more cards. Let's see. Okay, I felt like the yin card wanted to come out. Oh, isn't that interesting? Card 2 and 22 and card 31. Bottom of the deck is card 33. Wow, Aquarius. Very interesting new numbers for you here. Okay, my friends. So seeing card 22 and 31. Those were the first two that came out for you. This is the Y card. So Aquarius, you may be questioning, trying to understand things on a deeper level this week. You might be looking at intentions, your own intentions, the intentions of others. You might be sort of questioning things to understand motivation and intention and like, why is this experience happening? What is this experience teaching me? Why do I need to go through this? What is it that I'm supposed to understand? And I feel like what you're supposed to sort of tune into a little bit here is that things might be shifting around you in a way that seems chaotic, that's causing you to sort of question things, but that actually all of this chaos and conflict is a blessing. This is a blessing because it's reorganizing your energy in a way that is aligning you to different experiences, relationships, and opportunities. And so what might feel like chaos is actually reordering and reorganizing you. And your job is to go with the flow. There's your flow card. The yin card that came out for you is to not resist and also not to push, but to just be. Instead of doing and examining and evaluating in this Y card, your job right now is to just be the observer of yourself and of the experience in your reality right now, to just observe it, to understand yourself on a different level by just being. There's almost this vibe in your reading where it's like you don't need to do too much right now with this shifting energy. Allow this energy to reorganize things around you, because everything that is reflected in your reality is a reflection of your inner self. And so whatever's going on within is going to be reflected in the outer landscape of your reality. So if you're noticing that there's changes happening in your relationships or your job or your own habits and patterns, where you don't feel drawn to the same things anymore, where you feel drawn to different things, go with the flow. Don't spend too much time analyzing it and just go with the flow. And it almost feels like that's sort of the overall message so far in your reading, is to not overanalyze things, but to just go with the flow. And that any kind of resistance that comes up, to sort of observe that resistance as well, and to then relax. You know, it almost sort of reminds me of when you practice yoga, when you practice yin yoga especially, because in yin, you're supposed to sort of hold the pose and observe without resistance and without pushing, you know, so you're in the middle. You're not pushing and you're not resisting. You're just being, and you're just observing what's happening and trusting that it's a blessing. In this reading, we can take that idea and see it happening in the messages you're receiving, where by just being and observing, you stop yourself from being overly analyzing, overly analytical, and you just observe and allow, as opposed to overthinking and trying to force or push or resist. You're just accepting and observing. Very, very interesting. And I feel like it's happening around you right now to reorganize things in order to show you a new reality, one that you must have changed on the inner level. You know, Aquarius, and with Pluto entering Aquarius, I'm sure there's been a lot of stuff getting stirred up for you in terms of conflict and chaos, because Pluto is the transformer. Pluto is destruction and rebirth energy. So I'm not surprised to see that your reading is guiding you to surrender and flow so that you can stay balanced as things are reorganizing themselves around you, and trusting that it's all a blessing. Yeah, there's your Ace of Pentacles. So you're about to embark on something new, and things have to get reorganized. We're seeing the Queen of Pentacles come up. Oops, and the Six of Swords just fell on the floor. So that tells me that in this time of transformation, in this time of reorganization, you're needing to just take care of the self. There's the Queen of Pentacles. Don't worry about focusing on what their problem is, or, you know, even entertaining questions like that with that type of framework where you're like, what's their problem? Why are they acting like that? What's their motive? What's their intention? And that's what we see in this Y card. This idea of sort of being very investigative analytically. And so it's interesting. It's almost like we're seeing here, no, get distance from that kind of energy and prepare for a new shoreline. So right now you can sort of put that investigative energy to rest. And in fact, focus more on grounding yourself. Focus more on being at the center of this reorganization, as opposed to being caught up in the storm. You know what I mean? Like when you think of like a hurricane, you don't want to be on the edges of that hurricane, because that's where it's the most turbulent and you could get flown all over the place, thrown all over the place. You want to be at the center of the storm, where you can sort of almost be like this image on the card, where you're just at peace and you're trusting that everything around you might be a little chaotic, but you're grounded. You're focused on maintaining that inner grounded, quiet, sort of observing being energy, where you're not focused on doing or resisting or pushing or pulling or asking or investigating or judging or comparing. You're just sort of settling into this new energy, and you're like, you know, the other image I just got is like of a lobster changing its shell, right? Changing its skin, where it has to be on its own and it has to sort of take a space away from anything, because it's about to become very vulnerable when it changes out of that hard shell and starts to form a new one. It's vulnerable, and it could get swept up easily, right? So, or scooped up easily. So it's important for you to stay grounded, Aquarius, as you're going through all of this turbulence, and to get ready almost for this new shell by stepping into a space where you're ready for leaving the past behind and trusting that whatever needs to be let go of, you can let go of it. And whatever is moving away from you, you don't have to chase it. And to trust in that surrender of just being the observer, and to see where you're off to. Where are you off to next? One more card for Aquarius here. Oh, we got two more cards. Three. My goodness. Okay, Aquarius. So we're seeing the Hierophant, the Ten of Swords in reverse, and the Ten of Pentacles upright. So that's very interesting. I'm glad that I kept pulling. Let's see what's on the bottom is the Eight of Wands. So you've got the Eight of Wands here guiding you. These arrows are guiding you towards a new shore. And I feel like you're on your way there. You're ready for this. You know, seeing the Ten of Swords in reverse always makes me feel like you're ready to get up, that those swords are no longer holding you down into the ground anymore. You're no longer in a place where you're trying to survive something. I feel like the worst is over here, Aquarius. Right now, it's just reorganization. And seeing the Hierophant tells me that you're receiving this divine redirection. That's my confirmation that this is a divine redirection. You're getting, things are moving around in your external world because they need to. It's time for things to shift. And you might be in a space where you're feeling the shifting energy in a way where it's like you see, okay, I'm ready now. It's almost like you need to be grounded so that you can get ready to take that first step in this Ace of Pentacles, to walk through that gateway, right? To walk through that gateway into a new experience that is meant for you and that is being revealed to you. I feel bit by bit, you know, like things are moving around you. It could be bit by bit. For some of you, it almost feels like it's like a storm, you know, like it's not bit by bit for some of you. But, you know, it's interesting. Regardless of how it's being expressed for you personally, this is a moment where you're experiencing a lesson that will lead to an awakening or an enlightenment of a new paradigm, one that you're ready for, and one that's going to bring in a lot of balance, a lot of security, and a lot of sort of this feeling of being grounded and feeling safe and secure, and that you can sort of almost focus on the legacy that you want to leave. You know what I mean? And you're building that legacy. You're not in a state of trying to survive anymore. That period has been very revealing to you of the lessons that the new paradigm is now in motion, you know. And I feel like you're leaving one pathway and moving into a new pathway, and the Six of Swords is guiding you to get ready for that and to start moving towards it and to shift your thoughts, your beliefs, I feel, into a place of stillness, and where you're trusting your intuition and your higher self to guide you through this whole process, Aquarius. What a very interesting reading. Try to stay grounded and try to take that part of you. I know it's tricky because you're Aquarius. You're very much, you have this mental power to analyze things. But right now, it serves you to focus more on the stillness in the mind, as opposed to trying to unpack everybody's intentions and motivations, to just focus on being self-aware with how you're thinking and what you're focusing on, and becoming more grounded in that self-resilience, that self-empowerment that says, I trust myself and I am ready to start over. I'm ready to start anew. I'm ready to start again. I feel like you're at this place where you're ending cycles and you're beginning new ones. And you're sort of in the middle of it, that chaos and conflict, where you're cleaning up the little bits of your former self. You're cleaning up little bits of that. So be gentle with yourself, be loving with yourself, and be accepting with where you're at right now, without judgment and without criticism. And, you know, really staying in the flow of things is going to serve you. All right, I'm going to leave it at that for you, Aquarius. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I hope it's been helpful, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Take care, my friends.